and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabina and I am a certified mind-reprogrammer, and I help people get rid of any unwanted thoughts, emotions and behaviors rapidly and permanently. And today I want to talk about something that I think is so fascinating, and it's this perspective on depression. And the reason why I think this is so interesting is because what I have found is that so many people are actually feeling this way without knowing what it even is. And I don't think it's so important to give things a name. Depression is basically a name of a certain state where there is an absence of joy and meaningfulness. And what I have found is that it looks like the core of depression is feeling that you have unmet needs that can't ever be met. And that's where the hopelessness and the meaningless element comes in. It's not just sadness to be depressed, it's also this just lack of hope. I just have to say that the more I have worked with clients from all around the world and my own experience with having a depression and do this work, I'm really getting why so many people are familiar with different levels of depression, and why it for many people is something that they don't get rid of by doing therapy or by taking certain medications or doing all these different strategies that's available. When I look at what is underneath depression, what is actually creating it, it's a lot of different things compiled that gives this constant feeling of what I need doesn't matter, what I want doesn't matter, and I don't matter. Because if we believe that inherently what we want and need doesn't matter, we will never have them fulfilled by others, by ourselves, and we're just stuck in this rut where we can't get out. What's incredibly beautiful, however, is that once we start clearing these different pieces of that pie that we call depression, is that it clears up, it disappears. Because something I also often hear is that people with depression, it's like this acceptance of I have depression and sometimes I'm in a good period, but I will always have to deal with it and I always have the tendency to fall back into it. But no wonder we can fall back into something that is still present. Because I look at things and programs and behavior this way. Maybe we can say that this is a plant. This is our garden. And this is some weeds. We want to get rid of it because it's overshadowing our beautiful flowers. And it's also spreading to the garden. And then we start trimming it so it gets shorter, but eventually it grows and regrows. And we try to trim it down, or maybe planting some beautiful flowers around it so we can't see it, but it still grows. At a certain point it overgrows. So also there will be seasons where maybe it can't thrive so well, so it's not so big, it doesn't take up so much space, it's not so painful. But other seasons it's really blooming and flourishing and there's so much of it that we can't keep it down. It's just so overwhelming. But trying to cut it down by coping with it, dealing with it, numbing it, is not actually solving it. However, if we go down and we dig into the soil, we will find that there is a seed to this plant. There's multiple seeds to all this weed we want gone. And as we start taking out all the seeds, the weeds disappear, we get them entirely out. And then we stop having that experience of constantly having to cope with it. And it also makes sense, right? Because the literature says that the more abuse people have been through, the more abuse a kid has been through, the more prone it is to having anxiety and depression. No wonder, because where does our belief come from? It comes from past experiences where we try to explain what something was. So if you grew up around people ignoring you or criticizing you a lot, of course you got all these heavy negative ideas about you that are still stuck. So it's not that it's just your destiny, it's just that you have a certain program in your mind. You're programmed to match your early environment. So if that environment sucked and it was full of negativity and judgment and lack of empathy and warmth, no wonder that you are subconsciously fitted to survive in that. Meaning that you suppress your needs, you feel lack of worthiness and lack of love, and you don't believe that you can get it. And you're just used to feeling sad. And you identify with feeling that way. All of that matches your previous environment. And then as you grow up and you maybe put yourself in a different environment, you have the same mental programs, you have the same feelings that you're identified with. It's still stuck. And a lot of it is subconsciously, so you don't know that it's actually there, but you can definitely feel the effects of it. The sadness, the thoughts, the can't sleep at night, the waking up with a racing heart, and everything in your mind is just gray and hopeless, and you just don't feel the serotonin, dopamine, because you constantly have thoughts pulling you in a different direction. But as we eliminate all the different things that was created from the past environment, when we remove those seeds, when we delete those lines of code, when we update that software, which is only a tiny part of your mind, then it will completely shift, and it will shift forever. So basically, if you have ever felt like you have been stuck in a certain story, or you have dealt with a certain type of illness or problem for so long, and you just have an urge to permanently get out of that, to update that mental software, to remove those blocks, to release those hormones of joy, to allow your system to get back at it, to before you had all those experiences that made you believe things and adopt things that is not actually true, that you have been carrying for the rest of your life. I think this work is an absolute game changer and must to check out. And you're welcome to follow me on my Instagram, My Mind Blooms. I'm posting all kinds of juicy content. And to anyone who have ever felt stuck and who have ever felt that what you want is not mattering, or what you want is not important, or that you feel so disconnected that you don't know what you want anymore, that you don't even feel any want anymore, then this will shift your entire experience permanently. So check it out. Thank you for watching, and please share a comment down below if you feel like it, and I can't wait to hear from you. And you're welcome to subscribe at any point. And goodbye, thanks for watching, and I love you.